now heading into the bus stop chicane in first place, and I don't think anything bad will happen to him. So it's Philippe Simard who then finishes first in the first round of the ACRL GT3 season 2018.
Defends his championship lead, and will there be someone else later after this race?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the second round of the ACRL GT3 season. With me is Justin van der Linden. Hello, Justin.
Hello. It's a pleasure to work with the stream. I'm really excited to co-host the stream with you. So let's bring on.
Excellent. And I am Bas Bauma, and of course today we'll show you the fastest drivers we have in this league. Maybe we can have a short look at the Drivers' Championship. In first place is Philippe Simard currently. That means that he has ballast, and that ballast is 40 kilograms. Then going down, each place is 5 kilograms less, so the top 8 have some ballast. I've heard that 10 kilograms of ballast is about a tenth and a half, maybe. So maybe that is 6 or 7 tenths for Philippe, and then you know, someone like Albert, of course, will have about, you know, a tenth and a half disadvantage. But we'll see what happens. I can't really read the standings at the moment. But, well, I'm sure you can see them.
Philippe is 5 points ahead of Rune, so can be really exciting. Is Rune competing? Yes.
I don't think Rune is there actually today. He had some trouble with his pedals or wheel.
Oh yeah, that's the case, yeah.
So that's a shame.
Hopefully he can be in there next round.
Yeah. Currently there's 10 minutes left in this practice session. And at the moment Tommy Manninen is in first place with 47.1. Before we have a look at the track conditions, let's see if we can find out the team championship as well. As we have, well, quite some teams. Not that many driverless or single driver teams this season, so that's very nice. And we even have teams with multiple pairs competing. And Supernova number 1 is that, I think, is currently in first. Philippe Simard is driving for We Are Not Racing team. That is with Kade. I'm not sure if he's taking part. Haven't seen anything about it, so it would be a shame if he isn't there. No, I don't think he is. And Nassau Racing, I think, is... well, it used to be Rune and Rens, but well, this year I think it's only Rune, and then Rens is, I think, Team Bottle Job.
I'm really excited for qualifying. I'm excited to see who's going to take pole today. Can be.
Well, the Finnish guys are looking faster, aren't they?
Yeah, they are really fast, but maybe there's an underdog today that's just doing some racing lap. So
yeah. Well, we'll see. I think Rens also has a good chance with his 5 kilograms of ballast only, while Jakub Charcot seems really quick. At the moment in 4th place, nearly as quick as the Finnish guys, but he is carrying 30 kilograms. We've updated the graphics a little bit. So, for example, if I show you Charcot, then at the bottom you can see how many kilograms of ballast he has. So hopefully that can tell you a little bit. Also, tires should be working this time around. Thanks, Eder, as always. And then let's have a little look at the conditions. There you go. So Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, and we have a 25-minute qualifying session after this with 8 minutes left in this practice session. A race of 75 minutes with a pit window starting 15 minutes into the race, and then 15 minutes before the end of the race the pit will close again. So if you haven't pitted by then, you'll be disqualified. Then it's very hot today. 33 degrees air temperature. Track temperature isn't as relevant in this game, but 40 degrees. And at the moment the track surface is kind of slow. It's slowly getting better, and by the end of qualifying it should hit about it should become a fast track. And there we are. So any interesting facts maybe we can tell you about? What do you think, Justin?
Interesting fact. What do you mean with interesting facts? Because
well, let's
I know
see.
This track has 16 corners and is 4.7 kilometers long. The first race was organized in 1991, and it was the Spanish Grand Prix for the Formula 1.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Fun fact I didn't know.
Yeah.
The ballast, well, of course the ballast will be a big thing this season. A lot of very quick drivers have to carry ballast this time. And from what I've heard, it is mostly in the traction, where the traction is not so much limited by the grip, but more by the power of the engine. So that will be a big disadvantage, especially on the straight. So maybe we'll see some overtaking. Although, of course, we don't expect the drivers with ballast to end up very high in qualifying, but we'll see about that.
Yeah.
Race strategy might be an interesting thing.
Yeah, I think the most people will go on the mediums, but some guys will go on the softs. I hope they will end up the race with good tires.
Well, we'll have to see. I think soft tires will be good for maybe a couple of laps, but then after that you'll start losing a lot of time as they heat up so much. Yeah. I've even heard drivers say that maybe hard tires will be the optimum strategy for this race, with a very short splash and dash pit stop, with maybe no changing tires. And then some cars may be able to run medium tires, like the Nissan, which is very good on its tires, as you can see here, Rami Matila in screen. And maybe they can do just a quick, as was the case in previous seasons, where they would go into the pits and not change tires and just fill up by 1 liter or however much they need, in order to minimize the time spent in the pit. But another limiting factor, of course, now that the race is 75 minutes instead of 60, is maybe the size of the fuel tank. So we'll have to see about that.
Yeah. As you can see, some drivers are on the hards, like Fritz, and he's now going in the pit. Maybe he was trying to maintain race pace, but a 48.5. On mediums are a lot faster, but yeah, it's with pit strategy. How can you handle it?
And the the Mercedes looking majestic as ever. As Fritz drives out of the pits.
Brutal. I really like that car by the looks of it.
And maybe we can do a quick run through the field and see who's there and who is not. For now I only see 30 drivers in the server as Rami Matila goes into the pits. At the moment he is with a 47.0, but of course the track is improving all the time. Then in second place, another one of those darn Finns is Tommi Männinen. And then Thomas Tatela, he is one of the favorites from what I've heard, as he, I think last week he won round 1 of the Finnish National Championship on this very track. So, well, I consider him one of my favorites. Then Jacob Chacot at the moment is not on the server by the looks of it. Don't know what happened.
No, he's not in the server.
But Rens de Kok in his ever yellow Audi. That's the first Audi that we have in 5th place. Trias, haven't seen him before, is also in an Audi in 5th place at the moment. And then Albert Sultan, as it's pronounced, I think, in the Lamborghini. And he might be very quick as well. Of course, he's on 10 kilograms of ballast, where Chacot is on 30. Then Pavlovic is in 8th place at the moment. Paul Prekop in 9th. Then we have Ronnie Bronson standing still on the track in his McLaren. Blame in 11th place. Then, well, someone switched around there. That was Team ASD, or Timmy, in 11th place now. And then Blame in 12th. Mark Martens in the red Ferrari. I think he's the fastest Ferrari at the moment.
Yeah, it's the fastest Ferrari. Ferrari is really, it's not bad on the track, but it's not fast.
Ferrari, of course, pretty hard on his tires.
Yeah, and oversteer is
yeah, that's kind of deadly. And, well, I must say, the McLaren's not looking as swift as they did last time around. I think they are experiencing some difficulties with the tires as well.
Yeah.
They should be doing well, I think, considering they have quite a lot of downforce on this track. Mm-hmm. Then Philippe Simard at the moment, he's the one with, who of course won last week. He's with 40 kilograms of ballast in 15th place at the moment. Then we have Albanese in 16th place, Alazerx in 17th. So, well, quickly having a look at Simard, if he is really losing about 6 tenths or maybe even 7 tenths of a second, that would put him right now around about 4th or 5th place. So there you go. In 18th place is Ruvix. Not sure if he's actually put in a fast lap yet. Acerot in 19th place on the Ferrari, always nice to see, well, I think. Vega in the McLaren in 20th place. Then we have Max Wandel, who was doing very well last week, is on 20 kilograms, only in 21st place at the moment. Pierre Schlager in the Ferrari in 22nd place. Then we have Calamite, Audi in 23rd. Samuel. Then we have Mario Hauer, Glubczynski, Frits van der Zalm, of course. Cortex 10, what is he driving? That is an Audi, I think. Dennis Marquardt in 29th place. And Scuba in 30th place, closing off. So there we go. Quite a long list this time, 30 drivers.
You need to take some rest now.
Well, off you go.
No, yeah, only 30 seconds left in this practice session, then we go over to qualifying. I have no predictions about who's going to finish on pole. I'm really curious about the results, but we will see it in about 25 minutes.
That's right, as Tommy Manninen is in fact improving, already put down a 46.9. And is on course to maybe even improve on that by almost a 10th. Looking very sharp. Let's watch on board. To the chicane. Looking tight, taking all the curbs. And then get on the power as soon as you can. Bit bumpy on this this fast last turn. Very difficult. I don't know how it feels in the Nissan, but there you go. Another 46.9 for Manninen. Most drivers in the pits are finished. A couple of drivers still on track. Here we have a look with Paul Prekop. Today we have 93 drivers, so that's 3 different servers. Of course, we can only show you one server at a time, but doing well. I love it. We have 8 rounds, and this is of course the second round. Of these 8 rounds, the worst result will be dropped. So you can miss a race and still have chances on the championship.
Yep. So it seems like everyone is finished. Calumet is going over the finish.
Yeah, so there we go. And Calumet being the last to go over the line. Let's have a look at the practice results. Here you go with Tommy Mannion with 46.9 first place on soft tires, while the others are on medium tires. That is the tire used on the last lap, and not necessarily the fastest lap. So maybe that's not entirely accurate, but well, here you go. I think this tells us a little bit about the qualifying pace, and Albert Sultan then, well, looking sharp among all the Nissans and also Charcot. So the Nissans and Audis, Lamborghinis at the moment the favorites, I'd say, then the Audis, and then we have some McLarens. And while starting in midfield are the Ferraris. No Porsche this week.
No, I was wondering, where are the Porsches? But they aren't there.
I saw that, what was his name, Jakke? Sorry there.
No,
let me quickly check that. He just qualified outside the split one.
Let's take a look, yeah.
In pre-qualifying. Sake Lepo, that is.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was our only Porsche last week. Unfortunately. He's not here this week, but, well, we still have plenty of other cars, luckily. Mercedes is at the moment pretty much near the back. Difference between between the cars at the back and the front is about 1.5 seconds, so it's quite a lot.
But yeah, it's only practice. So I see that the Mercedes has, of Fritz and Dennis has driven on the hards. So maybe they can achieve some places in qualifying.
And well, we're gonna look then to fill some time of the track conditions at the moment. They will change a little bit for qualifying, but there's also some wind heading in, well, the southwest direction it's coming from. And that, of course, means a little bit of headwind on the main straight, which means more drag. So possibly a bit of slipstream will have a bit more effect than if it was the other way around. Although, of course, it is very hard to overtake on this track with this the last chicane. That's always a shame. And many fast turns and not that many long straights. But hopefully it will bring us something with different strategies and all the ballast. But, well, I just hope the ballast will not screw too much of championship fights. But, well, we'll have to see that after a couple of rounds. So the cars are waiting. Not much is happening at the moment.
No.
I mean, I don't know if there's time for an interview, but the drivers are warming up for qualifying, aren't they?
Fast 20-second interview.
Yeah.
How's your qualifying going? Yeah, good. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Well, of course, this is ACRL GT3, so let's have a quick look at the trailer. And we're back as everyone is leaving the pits already. And
yeah, qualifying has started.
Qualifying has started, and we're late. No. Charcot is the first one out and about to enter his first hot lap. Well, I used to like that a lot, and because if you, especially with 30 drivers, if you start pretty far back during qualifying, you often see drivers bunch up a bit, especially in the midfield. So you have to wait, and then you get you have the you might be surprised by a fast driver coming up in your out lap, or you're out first, and then of course you have a free track.
Okay, Jakub starting his lap.
Let's have a look on board with him. Heading into fourth gear through this very heavy for the fronts fast turn.
Is going a little right. Oh, you can keep it.
Yeah, if you go wide there, you lose a bit of, you scrub up some speed on the tarmac. It slows you down a bit.
Yeah, sometimes it gives you more grip, but it's not always the case.
And then difficult downhill braking in a very tight left-hander. You don't want to use too much of the curbs here, as it's very slippery. Sorry.
Slippery.
Most cars are on medium tires.
Yeah.
So it is pretty hot. It is 33 degrees air temp at the moment still. To the fast turn, bit of correction, almost going wide. Of course, there's been a lot of discussion about track limits. Don't mention it.
I saw.
We'll see what the drivers make of it, and hopefully they'll give us some nice racing. And well, I don't think track limits should be too much of a discussion point during the race, at least. And let's have them fight.
Yeah. Because you cannot. Yeah, it's not nice to watch if you are only looking at trains and. Yeah. You want to fight and. Yeah.
And Chocot then no best splits, but there's 47.1, and that's us. Then Pavlovic 48. Other drivers is Tommy Manninen is shaping up to be fast. Where is he in the list? Well, I see Thomas Tatela. Oh, Manninen then crosses the line in first. There you go. And Tromas then go a bit wide. In the fast one. I don't know all the corner names. Maybe I should put them on the next screen. Then improving 3 tenths down, or up, I should say, on Manninen at the moment. So very good by him. In the last sector then.
I thought all corner names were car brands. And
yeah. Yeah, they change often.
It's really interesting to see that now the fastest lap is put on soft tires, so it's not the fastest lap that we have seen, but
there we go, 46.6 from Thomas, and that is almost 4 tenths quicker indeed. On soft tires though, both of the Nissans, and then Chacot, well, he can't quite keep up. So the Nissans seem to have quite an advantage here with the soft tires, as they're much lighter on their tires compared to the other cars. I must say Simar is quite respectable as well, with 47.5 at the moment, given his 40 kilograms, but Chacot of course also with 30 kilograms. Calamide has at the moment, where is he? In 11th place, is that right? Yes, with 15 kilograms as well.
He's improving.
So far, personal best. Of course, has been his first lap or second lap.
Second lap, yeah.
So 47.7 for him.
1 second behind.
Team ASD improving. Oh, then almost spins out at the hairpin. Was improving on his first split and then lost a lot of time. So lost about 3 seconds in his second split. So well, that's a lap he has to give up. Then any other drivers? Aki Björnston, haven't seen him before. So there you go. Another Finnish driver, I think, maybe. Improving at the moment. bit of a moment, and then through the very difficult and very technical last bit of the track, through the chicane, taking all the curbs, looking really neat, but a bit hesitant, I must say. But let's see what he can do. And that is 1.4 seconds off the pace and 22nd place at the moment, so it is pretty tight. What else have we got going on?
Wide.
Cortex going wide, let's have a little look.
Yeah,
it's such a long list. Yeah, there he goes, he's driving very slowly. Has to, of course, go back to the pits in order to be able to drive on. Mark Martens in the Ferrari, being the fastest Ferrari in 6th place, though a second off at the moment in this lap. And 8th tenths on his previous lap, so doesn't look like he's
green first sector. Second sector is slower, but let's see what he can do in the last sector.
Yeah.
Oh, he's giving up his lap.
Maybe he's preparing for another lap.
Ren's also having a green first sector.
I have difficulty finding them, so they're in 8th place.
Yeah, in 8th place.
Also struggling a bit. And then as of course, as much of the track uses a bit of the curb. And almost hits the grass. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Braking for the hairpin then. His lights turned on, the yellow light caps. And it was all yellow.
Yellow.
Seems slow? Yeah, I think he's given up.
Yeah, he's giving up.
Making a bit of a gap, possibly. Any improvements? I see Pierre Schlager with a better first sector. Not a red Ferrari, surprising.
Paul Precup also improving, but he has Thomas in front of him. Oh, Thomas is going off the track and really nice.
To get out of the way, I presume.
Yeah, to get out of the way.
Pierre Schlager going through the last bit of the track. Looking sharp, looking fast. McLaren in front of him. Will that have some influence on his lap? Seems pretty far away.
Can he be the fastest Ferrari?
Perhaps he can. Mark Martens, of course, still in 6th place. And then improves and goes 6th.
Oh.
Indeed. Just slightly, about half a tenth in front of Mark Martens there.
Yeah.
I see Scuba improving. Only a tenth off in the first sector, so right now he's down into 27th place, so maybe he can improve it quite a lot. Scuba in a very decent looking skin for his Audi.
Yeah. Not everyone is improving, and some are in the pit to go for the second stint. Second hot lap.
Yeah, all goes very wide there through the gravel, so that will cost him a lot of time. Of course, the track is very slowly improving. It's not going very quick, so it's not like each lap that you go out will be improvement. Far from it.
Paul Precup hit the grass.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's driving that. Oh.
You don't know what happened to him?
No.
We have Team ASD improving, down in 8th place at the moment. And Scuba going slow. Really a lot of drivers backing off.
Ooh. Team ASD splits Pierre and Mark. And look at the difference between Team ASD and Mark Martin.
That is 1/1000th of a second difference. As we have a look with Thomas Tatela, just starting his hot lap, was flashing his lights on the straight. Maybe he wants the other drivers to know that he's coming.
A lot of traffic. A lot of traffic.
There's a lot of traffic indeed, and it's very busy.
Not improving his first sector?
Not improving indeed. 2/10 down.
I think it must be because of the traffic. But
of course, the Finnish drivers were pretty busy last week with their national championship, so they didn't take part, and that will give them a bit of an advantage as they don't have to run any ballast. But you would expect them at the front otherwise.
Yeah.
And well, we have a question about how is it possible that a lot of drivers are indeed slower in qualifying than they are in pre-qualifying, and a lot of that has to do with the track grip to start with. The grip now is slowly catching up with the grip of pre-qualifying, but another aspect is the high temperature. So many drivers are running mediums, as of course they did in pre-qualifying, but still high temperature does do a lot. More than just heat up the tires, it also restricts the power of the engine a little bit. And then traffic right in front of Thomas, and I'm sure that will cost him a bit.
Yeah, of course. He has the fastest Sector 2 time, but yeah.
Yeah, that is an improvement, and can he improve? Oh, he's it's only a bit.
Two fastest sectors and not improving.
And Tommy Manninen then not improving at the moment either. Quick run down if we find anything interesting. Rami Matila in 4th place, Blame in the pits, and then we have Paul Prekop coming into the pits. Trias in 8th place. 9th place is Team ASD just heading out of the pits, and then Mike Martins now in 10th place. So, well, we saw Pierre Schlager get 6th place from him, and there are now quite a couple of drivers between them. So you can see how close it is. I see a couple of 46s, and then it's all 47th down the field up until 24th place. So very tight. And Philippe Simard into the pits as well, waiting for maybe a gap as Kelly Meets has some oversteer and then abandons his lap and tries to get out of the way of the Nissan, which I think is one of the Finnish drivers. Probably Bjorksten. And Kelly Meet goes into the pits. Ruvix then in the Lamborghini, trying to use as much of the track as he can, and only off in the first sector by 9,000ths of a second, so maybe he can have some improvement.
Rami Matilla is improving. Let's see how far he can go.
And then crossing the line out of the last turn. That is a 46.8. Slight improvement.
Puts him at 2nd place.
So there you go. Tommy Manninen now in 3rd place. And Ruvix then going through the fast turn. That would be turn 9, Kamsa. Or Kamsa. Braking for the hairpin. Quite a tricky car, this Lamborghini. It feels very wide, of course, and also it's quite limited in the fast turn on the turns on the front. Must be a downforce thing. But does seem to do very well around this track, which quite surprises me a little bit. Rami Matila, of course, on medium tires, unlike the other Nissans around him. And then Ruvix crossing the line, improves to 12th place, about 8/10 of Tatela's time. Philippe Simard then on his outlap. We have Calamik Rens de Kok, Albert Sultan and Dennis Marquardt in the pits. Marquardt at the moment the fastest Mercedes, as we see Max Wandel go in 15th place.
So only 10 minutes to go, and it's getting to the end. But I'm really curious about how the qualifying will end.
And Ronnie Bronson, the fastest McLaren. Ronnie, of course, was doing very well last week already, but now many, Max Wandel, that is a bit slower due to his ballast. And I think we have one driver missing who was running on the front last week. Maybe that's something we can check for later. And Ace-Rod improving a bit. Ace-Rod at the moment in 21st place in the Ferrari.
So here you can see around 10 minutes before this, Mark was at 6th place, but now he's 12th. So can he go faster than this, or?
Yeah, he's quickly dropping, and also so is Pierre. And well, if we look at the top 7 or top 8, or well, we see a bunch of the same cars clumped together. Yeah. So maybe it tells us something about the pace of these cars, and the Nissans are looking really good. Nissans, well, if they are indeed going for a one-stop strategy, then they want to maintain, they probably split it in two, of course, and they want to maintain track position halfway through the race. So that might be interesting if all the drivers stay out, and Thomas they might end up behind them.
Thomas goes for the gap. Or is he?
Yeah, waiting. Perhaps. Looks like it. He's on his outlap, so I think he's waiting for some traffic, but his tires will cool down.
Yeah.
Might be on purpose, of course, with these high temps. Then we have Blame entering his lap right now in the first sector, with Rens, the very bright yellow car in front of him. He's easy to spot. Blame in this time in a white car. Go ahead.
Team A is also improving. What can he do? He's now 4/10 of the leader, or of of the leader.
Pierre Schlager improving. Meanwhile, in 9th place still, though. Bit of advantage there for Team ASD, or Team E, and then goes into the pits. He abandoned his lap. That's a shame. Yeah, very bumpy, very bumpy. Oh, it's the wall. Well, luckily that can be repaired.
Oh.
Pavlovic now in 7th place. The another McLaren. Then we have Charcot improving and does a 46.888. Very nice time. With 30 kilograms, of course.
With the fastest 3rd sector.
So there you go. Very impressive. He looks to be very, very quick.
Yeah.
And
if he had no ballast, he could be fighting for pole position. But maybe he can still fight for pole position.
Well, even still, I mean, with the different strategies, maybe he can do something if he goes for hard tires. We'll have to see about it. But I'm looking forward to that battle in the race. 6 minutes to go to this qualifying session. The GT3 ACRL season 2018 has many improved, and I'm struggling for words.
Fastest 1st sector, so they're really improving. Seems like no one else is going faster now. Yeah, Calamite is going faster.
Calamite, slight improvement in 12th place. Don't know if that actually gained him any places. Who's the fastest? Mercedes, that is Marquardt. Not improving. Well, that was a slow lap, so we probably abandoned that. And we have Thomas Tuatela improving once again, 0.3 of a second. So it's going very rapid, and half a second that is faster than Tommy Meninen at the moment. So that is very impressive.
He is on fire. He is on fire.
Certainly is. Might be a very lonely race for him, but we'll see. It's a very long race, need a lot of concentration, although Thomas often seems very consistent, and the Nissan is not one of the hardest to drive cars. So at the moment I put my money on him, but Charcot I hope can make things very difficult for him.
To make the race very exciting.
Yes. And Simar now, the championship leader, of course, waiting for some traffic to get by in 16th place. He's 1.1 seconds off the pole position lap at the moment. And maybe we can have a look when he starts his lap. And Ronnie Bronson improving meanwhile. But he has some traffic. That is Petrol. Oh, that's very tight, and I don't know if Petrol's also on a lap, so I think neither of the drivers wants to give way to the other guy. We will watch, look on board. And Ronnie then hitting his apex a little bit better, but then goes wide and runs into the barrier, so that's well, I don't know if he has another chance, but he has to be very careful as Team ASD then has to avoid him. Meanwhile, we have Aki Bjornsson and everything hitting off at the same time then. And, well, luckily he could avoid them, but that was quite a thing. And then we have Philippe Simard in 18th place. 18th place! There you go, running wide!
He was the race winner last week, but...
finding things very difficult, and maybe the tires are very hot. 4 tenths down already in the first sector. And Cortex 47.5, improving a bit. In 19th place, so just right behind Simard.
Max Wandel is improving a bit.
Max Wandel in the slightly ahead of Simard on the track. But not improving in his middle sector. And I hear some comments that we need better skins, so let that be a little heads up for you all if you're not watching the comments. Through the bumpy last turn, Samuel is improving as well. Samuel now in 8th place in the Audi, and then Max Wandel does not improve. As I want to see what Simard, the championship leader, is doing, as Frits van der Zalm is also improving. Frits van der Zalm in 23rd place, so not the... Oh, in fact he is improving. He is the fastest Mercedes at the moment. And then Simard through the last turn, and then no personal best, 3.3 seconds off. So I think he was shaping up for another lap. Maybe we can have a look with him.
So we are heading to the last minutes of the qualifying.
And then Mark Ward improving. 15th place, so that's quite a jump from him. Right behind the Ferrari of Pierre Schlager. And everyone's still trying to get the most out of it, as the track has improved quite a bit in the last 10 minutes or so. And we have Pavlovic improving as well. And Philippe Simard then consistently using a bit of that extra track on the entry of turn 4. And we have a Lamborghini getting in the way of Simard as he tries to get out of the way as best as he can.
So can Philippe be faster?
Well, no improvement in the first sector so far, so he's a bit of his mojo and then runs into the gravel a bit. That is not looking very good. There's one advantage if he does not do that well this race, of course, is that he will be down in the championship and then lose a lot of that ballast. But, well, I hope he keeps on fighting. I want to see that. As well as I want to see Kade turn up and do some rounds as well. Sultan then in 13th place, not even the fastest Lamborghini by quite some margin. We have Charcot in 3rd place and Blame in 8th place at the moment. With Sultan, of course, with 10 kilograms of ballast. And then Simard, I don't think he'll be able to do another lap, he gives up. So there you go. And we have Charcot meanwhile improving.
Oh, Sultan can do just a lap, just a new lap.
Did just cross the line indeed.
Yeah.
There you go. And Pierre Schlager and Bjornsken. Well, a lot of drivers in fact improving still. But what can Charcot do? Very neat. And is fast in turn 9. Looks very tidy, doesn't it? Taking all the apexes. Not using too much. Not using too little. Very tight driving. Much precision. A lot of precision. So it's really nice to look at him. One chicane to go, and then another fast last turn, which is very tricky.
You're not going to believe this, but Thomas is putting up a fastest first sector.
Charcot still in 4th place, and Thomas indeed still improving. Losing a little bit in the 2nd sector, so he's a bit down on his pole time at the moment. I don't think he'll be under much pressure though, so he might as well... Well, he can do it for the honor, of course. Many drivers finished. Session is now over. Just only a few drivers left on track to do a fast lap.
Thomas going into the last corner. I know that this corner is called New Holland, so...
There you go. That'll be the last turn, and then improves again by 0.3 of a second. That is huge. Albert Sultan improving a little bit. 5th place, well, quite a lot, right behind Chacot. So we have, in fact, the 2 Lamborghinis then. Any other drivers still on track? I don't think there are. So there you have it. Let's have a look at the qualifying results. And Thomas, in fact, in 1st place, and you have the couple of Nissans. Positions 1, 2, 3, and then the Lamborghinis. So only the Nissans then running in soft tires, and all the others running medium tires. And you can see, apart from Thomas, that is very close indeed. I won't run through all the list myself, but championship leader then Philippe Simard in 22nd place. Cortex also was a bit faster, I think, in the previous race, now in 23rd place. Marquardt jumping back and forth, but Marquardt in 14th place. The fastest Mercedes AMG. Max Wander in 13th place, of course, also a big disadvantage from his ballast, but also the McLaren doesn't seem to be doing that well on this track. And we have 32 drivers, that is 32 drivers this race. Petrol also did reasonably well. I think he finished in 3rd or 4th place in the previous race after all the penalties were applied. So he's down in 28th place, and well, that is that. And now we are waiting a little bit for the next session. Of course, the race will start in a few minutes. Meanwhile, let's have a little look at this GT3 trailer. Now heading into the buck stop chicane in 1st place, and I don't think anything bad will happen to him. So it's Philippe Simard who then finishes 1st in the 1st round of the ACRL GT3 season 2018.
Defends his championship lead. Will there be someone else later after this race?
And we're back. About 6 minutes left before the start of the race. A 75-minute race. We once again may have a little look at the track conditions at the moment. Slightly hotter than it was on the previous session. Wind now from the south, so not as much of a headwind. Also a little slower. I've gone a bit slower again from the qualifying. Second round. Of course, there are 8 rounds this season of this ACRL GT3 2018 season. And we're just trying to see if we can find anyone of the top runners to have a little interview. And right now I'm seeing Trias in 4th place. I kind of missed that, so I don't know what happened. Maybe it is showing up wrong. Yeah, he's down a bit, so that will correct itself later. I think the drivers are preparing for their races. Of course, maybe it's better to do a little interview after the race, as the drivers will not be as focused or don't need as much focus. And at the moment, I am also having a look at the tire strategies, and I can tell you that most drivers are in fact on medium tires, and then we have a couple of cars which I think are mostly, let's have a look, Audis. I see one McLaren on hard tires, and then I see, yeah, almost all of them are Audis. The only one on soft is Tommy Manningen.
Ooh, will be interesting.
So, yeah, is that a 2-stop or can he do a 1-stop? Let's see. Of course, previous race the soft tires were doing really well. So
yeah, there were all the tire temperatures and a different track, so
certainly, yeah. And of course, this being a more front-limited track, that means I think the engine, of course, in the Nissan is in the front, so that will be difficult, I presume. But we'll see. So 2 minutes then to go before the lights go out as we switch to the grid, and the cars are neatly waiting and stacked to start the race. Let's have a little look at the grid positions. So there you go. Well, of course, you've already seen the qualifying results, but this is the grid then, with Thomas in first place, and on the first row as well is Rami Matida.
People are saying that the tires are not right on the stream in the app.
All right. So we'll have to check that. Indeed, I am seeing medium tires on my other screen for all the Nissans. So maybe it's not entirely correct. Well, that's good to know.
I'm seeing that Thomas is on mediums and Jakub is on hards. So,
all right.
We will see it at the start of the race.
Yeah. And the grid only going to 16th place, I think so. Maybe that's not the whole grid, but well, here you have the list, which is not entirely correct, as Trias is actually in, I think, 8th or 9th place, but I'm sure it will correct itself. And only half a minute then to go for the start of the second race of the ACRL GT3 2018 season. All the drivers lining up. We have different cars, Nissans, we have Audis, we have Lamborghinis, we have McLarens, we have Mercedes, and a bunch of Ferraris as well in this race. And also in the other splits are a couple of Porsches. but not fast enough. Then, as the lights are almost going out, with Thomas Tatela in front.
The race is going to...
And what can they do?
Now.
And very slow start from the... who is that? It's a Nissan. That is Meninen. And Thomas then defending first place, going all the way into onto the inside. And we have Matila behind him and Chacot in third place. And then cars going 3 wide, and there's a bit of touching there between Meninen and the drivers in front of him. And then he's bunching up a bit behind him. As Meninen then overtakes, that will be Samuel in the Audi.
Much cars going side by side.
And Rens de Kok defending from Albert Sultan then. And all the drivers side by side are Paul Prikop and Pierre Schlager. Side by side still, or is Schlager ahead for the next turn? And then maybe Blaine can have a little look as well as they touch. To the fast right-hander they go, and they're all lining up now. And we have Albert Sultan having a look, and Rens de Kok defending, braking very late.
Ooh,
very close together.
Ron Bronson.
Running a bit wide is Rens there, and then Albert is caught by Pavlovic, who's in the McLaren. And then Pavlovic now in 6th place. And we have the couple of the Supernova guys. We have Timmy ASD on, I think that is Cortex, is it? The 3 of them together through the chicane. That's very tight, and we see another Nissan in front of them crash, indeed. And all the drivers having to go around him. And that will be the Nissan of Björksten, and then he goes around into the wall. So that's very tough for him. And then Pavlovic at the front in 6th place having a look on... and the app seems to have crashed, unfortunately for me. So that is a real shame, I must say. And I'm trying to fix it, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
A lot of things going on there.
You were not in the pit, but I can do it.
I'm sorry, so sorry about that.
Tough battles between Mark Martens and Calamite. Blame also behind Samuel.
We have a bit of a radio show. Sorry for the difficulty.
No problem. It can happen. Tough battle between Pierre Schlager and Lele Albanese. It's really crowdy in the back because of the crash.
And meanwhile, we are back, and we have Thomas Tatela still in first place. All the battles going out. I see in 28th place is Mike.
He's really on the back of Albanese. Goes a bit on the grass. Okay, on the straight, Paul Prikop and Max Wendell and Samuel. What can they do? Paul Prikop going for the overtake, or on the outside maybe? They're going side by side in turn 1. And Samuel can keep it in front.
But then
Max Wendell is going to overtake
taking
now.
advantage of that, indeed. And Scuba then also very close behind Paul Prikop, so he's losing a lot of places in a short time.
They almost touch. What can they do?
So we watch on board with Paul Prikop.
Oh, Max Wendell has corrected himself.
Yeah, I think it's looking very close together there.
Milos Pavlovic right behind Rens de Kok. going on the straight. Is he going to outbrake or is going? He's going to outbrake, but he brakes a little bit too late.
And then runs wide, and Rens de Kok able to keep the place. Meanwhile, behind is Max Wandel, then having a look still on Samuel in front.
Yeah.
We have the 4 cars very close together, all bunched up, fighting for 11th place. Through the last sector, very difficult to stay close together. Very, we've got to get the accordion effect. And from these slow turns, it's very tight. There's only one line. So it's very difficult to set up a pass, but then maybe Scuba then able to set up a pass on Paul Prekap on the straight. What can he do?
See.
Paul Prekap going to the right side to defend. Well, not too much of a draft, and both cars, of course, being the Audis.
He's going back to
braking later though. But at the moment, doesn't seem to be able to do anything.
Philippe Samard right beside team, and he's going for the overtake.
Well, there you go.
But he braked a bit too late, so is Team ASD going.
And then Team ASD immediately under attack from Frits van der Zalm, has to avoid Simar there, and then Van der Zalm has a good run for turn 4. And
what
Team
can
ASD
he do?
defending.
He's going to the side. Can he overtake around the outside?
Oh, and the touch.
Ooh!
Luckily, the drivers are still able to keep going.
Now Frits is on the inside of the corner. Can he overtake?
And also the Lamborghini then having a look. And it turns in, it's Team ASD, and Alex Zerks then losing some time and being robbed of a couple of places there. Sorry, that was Ruvix in the Lamborghini. And we have Pavlovic on the straight and Rens de Kok as well. Again defending. Again on the outside. And touching and squirming out of the corner, and then Pavlovic under attack from Trias.
Albert Sultan right on the back of Trias. Tommy Manaman also. And Albert Sultan. Oh!
Oh, that was very tight.
That's very tight. At the back, LSRX and Ruvix and Pierre Schlager. Also in close battling.
Touching Ruvix, perhaps. And I think a couple of cars are very close on the straight.
Can he go for the better exit? Ooh, it goes over the curb.
And Rens de Kok then again defending. A very nice battle there from Rens de Kok and Pavlovic. But Pavlovic around the outside and has the upper hand.
Spun and T1.
Albert Sultan, I have missed him. And he's now down into 15th place. I can barely keep up. 17th place, losing many places. So he was already losing places at the start, but now he's down into 18th place. And we have Max Wandel and Scuba.
And Scuba, yeah. They are going.
Oh, Samuel can barely get on the power. And then Max Wandel, of course, on the outside, which we have seen him do before.
Samuel, can he keep up? Max Wandel around the outside is going faster.
A lot more fighting left and right than I was expecting on this track.
Yeah.
Max Wandel then taking the place from Samuel, and Samuel is he under attack from the driver Scuba behind him. Scuba and behind him is Prekap, and he's also having a look. Nice little dance.
Prekap is very close.
And then on the outside, breaking very late behind him is Samuel.
Around the outside. Can he do it?
Going wide.
Goes a bit wide. Paul Prekap goes slip a bit.
We have a little Audi Cup going on here, all fighting for 11th place.
Instead of the Audi TT Cup, we have the Audi R8
and a little bump. Going wide. Oh, that was too unfortunate. And then he's losing a lot of plays, but decides to cut behind. They also hit indeed. And you have Martins in the Ferrari, the fastest Ferrari on the track at the moment, shaping up as well as the fights in front.
On the straight, we have Blame versus Rens de Kok. What can he do? And is he going to outbrake? No, Rens is still beside him. And Blame is going wide.
So Rens then having to defend so far in this race. As we have 5 more minutes coming up before the pit window is open. And Rens then again defending for turn 4. Seems to be able to hold on Blame for the moment, but then again has to defend. And then, of course, this will cost him quite a lot of time, as Trias, that is behind them, will be able to catch up.
In the back we have a battle for 13th place, 12th place, between Samuel Calumet, Mark Martens and Cortex. Close driving, but can someone overtake?
And we have the Audi of, that would be Samuel, then having a bit of a moment on the curbs, and both of the drivers are defending, and then Mark Martens maybe can have an attack on Calumet.
Fighting for P4, we have Pavlovic and Ronnie Bronson. You were side by side a few corners ago.
And Blame Rens de Kok still fighting, and also the Ferrari of Martens, and then Calumet in 13th place.
Yeah, tough battle.
A lot of things going on at the moment. And then
going straight, so the Ferrari will lose some power in comparison to the Audis.
As we are indeed missing the tire info, and there we go.
Pavlovic is doing really well.
And Rens still defending from Blame. And Blame now
is
under attack from Trias. Yeah. And Trias having a nice run. Although it goes wide in the slipstream, and then has difficulty keeping his car under control, though he does. And that makes Blame having a good run on Rens de Kok again.
Oh, can he go around the outside? More grip?
Very difficult to pass there, of course. But maybe he can do a little switchback. Barely does.
Oh.
Side by side. If he can have his rear wheels.
Can he now have him?
No, he can't, and he's very careful, and luckily so. But then Rens de Kok compromises his exit. And Blame still all over the back of him. And a very nice run up on the straight. And if he can brake later and then stay on the track on the exit of the hairpin, maybe he can do a little pass on Rens de Kok. But it's very difficult.
Goes around the outside. Can he manage to keep it?
Of course, if he can stay side by side, then he'll have the inside here. And only barely does so. And I think it touched.
A little bit of bumping, yeah. Oh, Rens goes wide.
Sets up.
I can't blame. Yeah, Blame now has him, but Rens still fighting.
And Rens should be doing the smart thing and set up a pass for the straight, and I think he will be able to. We can have a look on board with Blame. Blame defending. A lot of power in that Lamborghini, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
During all this fighting, we still have Tatela out in front and Matida in second place. Mannion, of course, lost a lot of places at the start. And then we have Charcot in third place with his 30 kilograms on his hard tires. He's the first man with hard tires. And then we have Pavlovic behind him, also on medium tires again. Of course, the front runners, the Nissans, are also on medium tires.
Oh, at the back we have... oh, I lost it. Oh, we have Bjorksen against Alessorix.
Bjorksen, of course, who we earlier saw go round, having a look on Alessorix, so probably he'll have a bit of a better pace than the drivers around him. Having a look, not braking late enough, and Alessorix for the moment stays in 23rd place.
Albert Sultan disconnected. That's unfortunate.
Oh, going wide around the outside, and Alessorix made a little mistake, and Björksten able to make use of that mistake. And Pierre Schlager now also having a look.
Can you overtake and inside? Ooh.
That's very tight, isn't it? Yeah. But then I think the Lamborghini might be slightly ahead. And indeed, Pierre Schlager has to give up the place for now. But maybe he can keep close and set up a pass on the straight. Meanwhile, also entering the straight, Mark Martens.
Yeah. Mark Martens right behind Samuel. Can he pass him on the straight? Going for the slipstream. and you see Calamite is staying at his side. So I'm wondering what Calamite is doing. Mark Martin's right beside Samuel. Can he go around to the outside?
Late braking from him, but that's a bit too late. And then immediately under pressure from Calamite, who's in the Audi. Flashing his light is Calamite, having a look, but I don't think he can do anything from that distance.
Oh, coming from far, almost hit him.
Almost hit him though, goes a bit wide and then loses a lot of places. And then Mark Martins again having some free space around him to take a look at Samuel. And then we have... Well, it tells me the pit opens in 2 minutes, but in fact it has already opened.
Yep, it's open. At the back we have on for 20th place we have 21st place we have Pierre Schlager beside Ruvix again. Can he keep him aside? Yeah. Can he overtake? That's the question.
And started to drive the fastest lap. Quite expected.
Same action from Pierre Schlager. Can he now put it in the front? Yes, he can.
Very well done there. Very good move from Pierre Schlager. And still we have Samuel and Martins then. And Martins braking very late, but goes wide on in the first apex of the chicane, and then struggles to set up a pass maybe in the first turn. But Calamite, in fact, might be able to have a little bit more speed on the straight.
On the straight, also Tommy Mannanen against Rens de Kock. Rens still defending.
Having a good run is Mannanen. Mannanen, of course, a bit out of place, so he'll probably have a bit more pace than the drivers around him. He's also on medium tires, whereas Rens de Kock is on hard tires, according to my info.
Yeah, you're right.
And also Trias is having a look, but not able to do anything.
Really close battling this race. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm very glad to see this. Of course, not a track well known for its overtaking, but well, we do see quite a lot of it, and also very close battles. Of course, one of the nice things about a track that is hard to overtake, where you can in fact overtake, is that it takes some skill to set up a good pass, which you can do, and you have to make a lot of use of mistakes of the other drivers. And Audi braking late of Trias there.
Max Wandel also catching up with the train. And in the back we have, for 12th spot, we have Mark Martins and Calamite fighting.
Side by side they are.
Samuel.
And Samuel, I think, defending then from Pierre again.
Mark Martins, you mean?
Sorry, yes, you're right. The other Ferrari there was a bit confused, and then braking very late Martins. But then again goes wide.
Late again. Ooh, and
same mistake as the previous lap, and they touch. And that then gives
Scuba a chance to overtake.
Yeah, there you go. And behind them are Petrol and Simar, I see, fighting. Or reasonably close. And then Scuba on the overtake on Calamite. On the inside, braking late though. Braking a bit too late. He's not able to pass Calamite.
And Tommy Mannanen and Max Wandel, or Tommy Trias and Tommy Mannanen. Tommy Mannanen going for the overtake. Overtook Trias now. Now he's going for Rens de Kock.
Did he overtake him, or was he in fact defending?
He lost the spot. He lost the spot.
Yeah, so there you go. And then Trias also falling into the lap of Max Wandel. And the pits, of course, open at the moment for about 40 more minutes.
Pierre Schlager still battling with Team ASD. So back in the front, still we have Rens de Kock and Tommy Mannanen fighting for P7.
And we have some... Sorry, yes.
Thomas with the fastest lap with a 146.791.
And we have a couple of people who have done a pit stop. As you can see at the bottom of your screens, Albert Sultan then has given up on his race, unfortunately for him. Cortex, having done one stop, dropped him a lot of places on a hard strategy. And we have Lubczynski then in 31st place behind him.
Tommy Mannon going for the overtake.
As I'm looking for the right camera angle, and we have Rens de Kok on the inside and Tommy Mannon slightly more speed.
Touch.
Barely giving each other any room, but then Rens de Kok setting up for the next turn. And will try to defend for turn 4. And of course both not out of the woods from Trias behind them.
Oh, Pierre Schlager lost the place to Ruvix.
Yeah, they are side by side. Still defending is Pierre Schlager. Ruvix, of course, in the green Lamborghini.
Okay, going back to the front to Trias and Max Wandel. Max is at the side of Trias, but is going now to the back of him. Paul Cup also at the back of Max Wandel now. There are so many battles.
And Calamide and Mark Martens still fighting.
You mean Samuel and Mark Martens?
Again, I'm doing it wrong.
No problem.
Yeah, exactly, you're right.
Oh, Mark going wide. Mark is going for aggressive mode, but
again brakes late.
He makes a lot of mistakes.
Certainly he does, and then again it goes wide. And that will lose him a lot of speed on the straight. And out in front are Ronnie Bronson and Blame.
Ronnie Bronson going for the other line to get a better exit.
Goes a lot more wide in the exit of turn 2, so maybe he can set up a good line for the third and fourth turn, but at the moment it doesn't look like it.
At the back, Ruvix overtook Pierre Schlager because of the Lamborghini power, I guess.
So there you go, on the straight he did it, and so he missed that, but then Ruvix surely will have a look on what's coming up in front of him instead of what's behind him, and that is Team ASD, braking late. You see different lines for turn 4. Mm-hmm. Some drivers turning in early, some drivers turning in late, and then braking late. Ooh. Barely misses the back of Team ASD and then has to defend from Pierre Schlager. Pierre Schlager making most of it by taking the inside on Ruvix, and maybe he can take brake. No. And is very careful not to hit him.
Again, Mark Martens is at the back of Samuel. What can he do now? Because we're entering the sector where Mark makes a lot of mistakes.
And there they are.
Takes another line for a better exit.
That's a very good line from him. Yeah, very smart move. But then will be on the outside. Can he keep up the pace, the speed? And another inside.
Again going wide. So unfortunate. Now is he going? Is he at the side brake? Yes, and can he go for the better exit?
That's some very neat driving from there, side by side into the chicane. There is only pretty much one line, but they managed to squeeze their way with two of them side by side through the chicane, and then Samuel has to defend from Calamide.
But the Ferrari is going slow, as you can see. What's going to happen?
And Samuel on the inside, meanwhile Calamide under pressure as well on the touch indeed.
From Scuba.
And what happened there? Scuba then losing some time, losing many places. That is another place he's about to maybe lose from Philippe Simard.
Rens lost some places too. Now he's behind Trias and Tommy Mannon.
Doesn't seem too hot at the moment. I think what we're seeing is that the Audi is not too great on its tires, and Rens de Kok is on hard tires, and Max Wandel then behind him. goes around. What happened there? Did he get a touch?
I thought he touched the curb and then
That's very unfortunate.
Went on the grass, and then it's game over.
Yeah, and then again we switch back to Mark Martins and Samuel. Samuel
Mark
having
Martins
a better
going
line.
wide. Mark Martins taking a different line. Oh, Ruvik's overtaking Team ASD, but he's going wide, so he lost his place.
And I'm looking at Team ASD and I see Pierre Schlager behind him.
We're almost 30 minutes racing, and there are still some intense battles.
And Pierre Schlager then in a slipstream of Team ASD on the main straight. And Team ASD defending as well as the Lamborghini behind them who's having a look. That is of course Ruvik's.
Ruvik spins.
Oh, Rubik spins. Let's see if we can catch him. He's very slow out the turn, but lost a couple of places there. Meanwhile, Pierre Schlager going very wide, barely keeps control over his Ferrari. And Team ASD running a bit wide. Pierre Schlager, can he have a look on turn 7 and 8? Not for the moment, he can't.
So, fighting for 9th place, we have Rens de Kock and Paul Precup. And they're very close. Precup is coming closer, so can he overtake soon? Because Rens is defending very well.
So far he is, although he did lose some places.
Yeah.
And well, we have a look at Calamite and Samuel again. I quickly want to note that, of course, some of the drivers are running with ballast, in case you joined us later. We have the championship leader at the moment in 26th place. He was running 17th a moment ago. He, in fact, made a pit stop. So he did go for a pit stop pretty early on. Different strategy from the info I was given. And Tatela still out in front, having no pit stop on medium tires, so big advantage there on the Nissans.
Calamite overtook Samuel around the outside in turn 1. And Scuba is following Samuel. Pierre Schlager just overtook Team ASD, but still right behind his tail. It's like Eke Bjorksten.
And Bjorksten then still pretty fast, having a look on Team ASD, very late, braking a bit too late, and they touch. Flashes his lights. Really wants to go through, but of course, well, you cannot really bump your way through, I don't think. And Team ASD, for the moment at least, in front of him in 18th place. As we have Cortex coming up on Simar in 27th place, surprisingly.
We have Tommy Mannanen right behind Ronnie Bronson.
Out of the chicane, and can Mannanen, can he have a better exit? His car should be slightly quicker maybe than the McLaren, and so far at the moment it does look like it. And then Bronson defending, but not enough. And Mannanen able to put his car next to Bronson's and has in fact quite a lot more speed. Squeezes him on the outside on the entry, and then looks like a very easy pass on him, although he was struggling a bit midway through the corner. And so Bronson at the moment not the quickest McLaren. Indeed, Pavlov is the quickest McLaren at the moment.
Pavlovic doing really good.
In fourth place.
Battles are getting less because of the pit stops, I guess. So hopefully we can see some undercuts, and let's see how it works out.
Pretty lonely race for Pavlovic at the moment. Maybe we can do a quick run through the field. Tatala then in first place. You can just interrupt me, Justin, if you see any interesting battles. Yes. Matilda then in second place. In the Nissan, of course, still having to stop. Most of the front runners, in fact, well, all of the front runners have to stop still. Chacot in third place with his 30 kilograms of ballast, as you can see down in the screen. We have Pavlovic, as mentioned before, in fourth place, and Blame in fifth place. Then we have Meninen in sixth place. Well, he made up some places. I think he was down in ninth at some point, and then was able to get some places back. Then Ronnie Bronson in seventh place, with Trias right behind him. And Rens de Koch, having to defend much of this race, is now in ninth place. Then we have Paul Prekop in 10th place. Max Wandel behind him in 11th place. Mark Martens in 12th. Calamite in 13th place in the Audi. And then we have two Audis again, Samuel and Scuba. In 16th place is, from what I think, the fastest Mercedes at the moment. And Pierre Schlager is behind him.
So we have Ronnie Bronson tries right behind Ronnie Bronson. Went a bit wide, so the difference between cars is a bit bigger now. Battle between Fritz and Pierre. What's Pierre going to do? He's going to slipstream, and can he maintain grip? Yes, he can.
Has a look.
Looking for the inside.
Fritz then diving early into the corner for the apex. That compromises his exit, and Pierre Schlager then having a better run, but Fritz then defending for turn 5.
Can he go around the outside?
And Fritz then very kind to leave him quite a lot of room. And it is Pierre who has more speed and is able to overtake Fritz round the outside into turn 7. As Pierre goes a bit wide, so we now have Fritz then in 17th place, Team ASD in 18th place, and we have Björksten still behind him. Alice X, I haven't seen too much from him at the moment in 20th place. Mark Huard, another pretty anonymous race at the moment for him in 21st place. We have Ace Rod, a Ferrari running wide and losing a place at this moment from Mike, who's in 22nd place. Then we have Simard, who is the first person to have made his pit stop in 24th place. Cortex in 25th place. Then we have Petrol in 26th, right behind Cortex. Then we have Vega. I haven't seen him this race yet, maybe very shortly at the beginning. In 27th place, Kupczynski in 28th, Albanese in 29th, pretty lonely at the moment. Mario Hauer in 30th place, and then we have a couple of drivers, Rufix and Sultan, are out of the race, and I don't know what happened to Rufix.
Sorry for interrupting you, but just late. Scuba has just overtook Samuel in turn 1, but still Samuel, can he go for a better exit over here? Getting a bit closer. Just a bit, looking for a gap. And can he go for the better exit over here? No, he can't.
Not at the moment, he can't indeed.
So the field is splitting up a bit. There are some battles, but not that much anymore.
It is indeed spreading. Of course, we are approaching halfway through the race, so we expect some of the front runners to be pitting within the next few laps. Thomas, as ever, very consistent. His fastest lap has been a 46.7, as you can see in the screen, and right now is running in the the low 47s. And he's quite a comfortable lead in front of Rami Mutila. And maybe let's see if we can catch them on the pits whenever they go into the pits. And let's watch on board with Thomas Tatela in his Nissan, going through turn 7 and then 8. Looking very tight, hitting all his marks at the moment. Braking for the hairpin. Brake as late as you can, use a bit of that curb. Try to hit the apex, which is a bit of curb which unsettles the car, but it's also very bumpy. Then you want to clip this and then dive in very late, do a sort of double apex on this 180-degree turn almost. A very off-camber right-hander, and then the chicane. Looks very clumsy and feels very clumsy when you're driving it over the curbs, and then the exit which is a bit slippery, as you can see him correcting the car. Very bumpy on the exit of the last turn, and then onto the straight goes Tatela.
Not much action going on now. We have Trias and Rans
reasonably close together.
Yeah, reasonably
about
close.
half a second between them. Have a look at the front runners meanwhile. I see one back marker, which I think is Mario Hauer, or Albanese in fact.
Oh, Pierre Schlager is right behind Samuel.
And then not too shabby these Ferraris after all, I think, on this track.
They're doing pretty well.
And then Samuel defending for the chicane. I don't know if that is a very smart move, as Pierre will have a better line through that turn, and it does look like he has quite the speed on Samuel. And Samuel will have to go on the defensive possibly. Isn't doing it, and there he goes.
So there are a few people pitting. Scuba is pitting, Mark Martins is also pitting.
And they go, and they're dropping rapidly through the field as it's pretty tight together. And Pierre Schlager on the outside, braking later than Samuel.
Very well done.
Very nice move indeed. And we have a quick look at the cars in the pits. Well, you see, I only see a couple of Ferraris. Two of those Ferraris are the commentators, and the other driver is Scuba getting out as well. And then, warming his tires. For a moment I thought something was happening, and Ronnie Bronson and Trias for 7th place. Rens de Kok also trying to get the run on Trias on this back straight. Big DRS signs, but no DRS in GT3 of course, and very late braking.
Ronnie Bronson and Trias.
And Ronnie Bronson sees it and gives him the space. It's very kind of him, but he loses his space.
Oh,
and then Rens having a look as well, flashing his lights.
Very close racing. Is he going for the exit? Oh, he's going for the exit instead of overtaking
And
now.
Bronson defending. But Rens then not with the best of exits at the moment. And we have Tatela in the pits, as he is out of the pits. And seems pretty safe around him. In 6th place at the moment.
Okay, turn 1.
Yeah, we have Paul Pickup, Rens de Kok, and in front of Rens de Kok is Ronnie Bronson, still very close together. A couple of other people in the pits is... oh, that's Max Wandel. We have Calamide as well. And we have Pierre Schlager. Let's see if we can have another look at the static cam so we can see who is coming out and who isn't. Rami Matila at the moment in 1st place. Mighty leads in front of Charcot, who is of course...
Scuba right behind Glublinski. Glubshinski.
Now we have Wandel exiting the pits, as well as Calamide, as well as Pierre Schlager behind them in the Ferrari. And we have an attack there. Who is that? As again, I'm sorry to say that the thing has crashed. So you'll have to do a bit more radio, I'm sorry to say.
Okay, welcome back to Radio ACRL today. Yeah, it's the field is splitting. Scuba and Glubczynski are side by side, going for 26th spot. But Glubczynski can keep it up. Rami Matila is in the pit now, and Trias is also in the pit. Paul Precup is entering the pit too. And there are many people in the pit now. So it's halfway the race now.
And there we are.
A bit over the race.
Luckily we're back.
Are you back? Nice.
You'll see a couple of fastest laps, but that's just the live timing catching up. And at the moment I'm having Blame in second place, is that correct?
Yeah, Blame in second place.
That means Maninen in the pits.
Third place. Maninen is
heading out into 12th place at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
So Tautala then slowly getting back to first place, it seems. And I'm still very impressed by Chocot, who's staying out for the moment.
So the people that were on the hard tires are, the most of them are still on the hard tires. So
yeah, most of the drivers seem to split the strategy pretty equal, and then use the fastest tires they have available for them, which is for many drivers, since it's so hot, the hard tire. Chacot then still out in first place.
Pierre Schlager just behind Scuba, going for the overtake. He's waiting now. But Scuba also going for a spot of Glubczynski. Oh, that name is...
And
going to pit.
You'll notice that not all of the info on your screen is right. Some more people, like Pierre Simard and like Cortex, have already made a pit stop, as we see an attack from Scuba on Glubczynski.
Can he keep it, because Glubczynski has a better exit now? Ooh. Pierre Schlager also on the back of Glubczynski.
Through the chicane they go. And Glubczynski having a very good exit, so I don't think Pierre Schlager will be able to catch up at the moment. And we have a fight between Team ASD and Dennis Marquardt on the straight.
Yeah, he's going to the outside, and can he go around the outside?
Side by side they go, and Team ASD running wide then, and immediately under attack from Max Wandel, who's setting up a very nice amount of speed around the outside of turn 3.
It goes on the green.
Loses a bit of speed, and then Team ASD trying to take the racing line. Max Wandel having a look, and Dennis Marquardt, well, isn't fearing anything at the moment yet.
Tough battle, Max Wandel still. Ooh, he touched.
Very close, and they touch indeed. And
Mark Martens behind Max Wandel. So if you make a mistake in this race, someone is directly on your tail. That's for a race that's busy like 45 minutes is really impressive.
Will he dive out? No, they won't. They're staying in a line, but he does hit his back, and then Team ASD loses out on 2 places. And Dennis Marquardt as well under attack, loses a place to Max Wandel.
Mark Martens around the outside, maybe?
Having a look on the inside. So these pit stops... Oh, again they do indeed. These pit stops have quite an effect on the field. All the things shoveling up. And we have fights left and right again. For a moment it seemed dull, but it isn't anymore. The pit window is still open for about 15 minutes more. And we have Team
going for the
ASD.
overtake on Team ASD. Can he manage to keep it aside? No, he can't. Also, we have Lazarix against Milos Pavlovic. But still in the back for 21st spot we have Dennis Marquardt and Mark Martens. Yeah, if you look at the last laps, Mark Martens is a little bit slower. So, can he keep up now? Mark Martens chasing.
Mark defending, Mark Martens has to choose the outside on the hairpin.
Going for the better exit. Can he manage to keep it beside the...
It's very smart driving from Martens, but then has difficulty keeping his car under control. He tried some different lines.
In some cases they do work out, but this one didn't work out.
And then Marquardt going a bit wide on the first apex of the chicane, so that's a very good exit there for Martens. And then it's Marquardt immediately defending, is he? Yeah. Martens choosing the outside for turn 1.
But now it's AMG power versus Ferrari power.
And a bit of slipstream. And AMG so far doing very well, and we have Calamite, I think that is.
Oh, Mark Martens around the outside. Can he? And they touch. Mark Martens.
Both cars still alive, and we have Team ASD having a look maybe as well. As we saw Calamite having a look on the straight on Team ASD. And Martens not defending, but stays out in front of Team ASD in 22nd place. Simar, who was one of the first to stop, is now in 13th place, so he gained some time, but still very difficult race. Of course, he is on 40 kilograms of ballast. And Charcot then still out, so maybe he'll do a splash and dash shortly. And maybe refuel for about 1 liter or so. But still only 12 seconds in front of Tatela, so Tatela probably still virtually in first place.
Mark Martens going for the outside. And he has done it. Or Dennis must be faster in the corner and has...
No one's giving up yet, but Mark Martens goes wide.
Oh, and
they touch and they push each other wide the second time.
And Team ASD is taking a profit from that, and he's getting touched.
Team ASD clever enough to back out of that. As we see some drivers improving on their best times, even better than qualifying, so that means the track grip is now very good. And we have Team ASD defending from Calamite once again, but Calamite not having the speed and the power to do so.
And there, ooh.
And Frits van der Zalmen on the attack on Trias. And Trias also under attack from Cortex in the Audi behind them. And then Trias on the inside of Frits.
And Paul Precap has hit the gravel, so he's backing up.
And Tatela setting a fastest lap with 46.1.
Impressive time.
Which is 4/10 faster than Rami Matila. So, yeah, certainly quite the advantage on the drivers around him. And even Tatela is, even though he's on quite heavy fuel load, is getting closer to Charcot. And Cortex right on the back of Frits.
What can he do?
Cortex braking very late
on the exit. No, Frits has a better exit.
And we have Samuel onto the pits.
Now we have Calamite against Pierre Schlager and Team ASD. Very close. Right on the tail. But who has the better exit? It seems like the exit is equal. But if you go to Samuel, we have between Fritz and Cortex going side by side in that corner.
It has been shaping up a bit for a moment. But then Fritz still having to go defensive.
Ooh, they almost hit each other.
And then can Cortex keep it around the outside? For the moment he can't, so Fritz then trying to go on the inside, and Cortex having no choice but to go to the outside, and then that will cost him from Paul Prekop, who says thank you very much. And he is having 16th place at the moment.
Pre-hit.
And the battle between Marquardt and Timmy and Calamite then still going on, and Calamite not able to get close to Timmy ASD, though he seems faster as well.
My game just crashed, so you need to do it on your own for a few seconds.
Luckily this time we still have some images going on, as I'm looking at Tommy Manninen. One thing that I'm noticing from the Finnish drivers, as Alex is going into the pits for his mandatory pit stop, the Finnish driver seems to be very tight on their lines. Very good driving, not pushing too hard, staying calm, and Tatala still getting closer and closer to get from Chacot. We're having a look with the five-way battle between Marquardt, ASD, Pierre Schlager, Calamite, and behind them Scuba as well. A bit further up the road. And right in between there, out of the pits goes, that is Glubczynski. Is it Ace Rod? Sorry, that is, I think Glubczynski indeed. Or Mike, I think it is, in fact. Team ASD at the moment very close behind Marquardt. The AMG is having to defend quite a lot this race. Not too easy on the tires as Marquardt goes wide. And Team ASD force around the outside of turn 5. And that means that Pierre Schlager can have a look as well. But so far that's only what they are doing, having a look, and that's it. No changes at the moment.
So I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hopefully it will work now.
Same fight still going on. And Team ASD trying to get some room in front of him. Of course, they did touch already before, and we have a little moment between Schlager and ASD. You can see some of the damage on the left side of the car of Team ASD. Through this clumsy last sector of Barcelona. Oh, and there goes Team ASD with a bit of a bad exit as he hits the inside curb of the second apex of the chicane, and Pierre trying to go for the inside, but Team ASD fast enough to react.
Side by side. Can Pierre make a new overtake?
And the McLaren does seem to have quite the grunt. One of the stereotypes you often hear about the McLaren is that it doesn't have enough power, but well, maybe it doesn't have enough power out of the slow turn of turn 1, as Pierre Schlager is able to get on the inside into turn 3 and then 4 for about a few seconds, and Team ASD not able to fight back and immediately under attack from Calamite. Struggling to keep his car under control. Not defending. Having a look behind Calamite is Scuba. And between Philippe Simard and Trias, that's also been shaping up for quite a few laps.
Price going for the better exit.
But Simar, of course, being a very experienced sim racer, will know all the tricks to defend. So if only he can have a bit of a proper exit from the chicane. It goes wide though.
Yeah, it got a better exit.
And at the same time, Cortex running wide on the exit, immediately under pressure from Max Wandel.
Now in the slipstream.
And first is Trias trying to overtake Simar. Simar going... able to take the turn. And we have more things going on. We have Cortex on Max Wandel.
Cortex on Max Wandel, yeah. Max Wandel overtakes Cortex. In the back we have Pierre Schlager and Dennis. Pierre Schlager now on the inside. Overtakes him, but I think Dennis has a better exit.
Slightly different lines from them. But then Marquardt having a bit of an understeer. It's a very tricky car to set up, that AMG. It's very easy to make the front splitter stall, making you lose a lot of speed. It makes it a very tricky car.
Now in the front we have for 7th spot place we have Blame against Eki Bjorksten.
And Blame on the inside.
Overtake. Oh, nice, well outbraked.
And then Meninen takes advantage of that as well. And takes 8th place from Bjorksten.
Now in the back we have again Team ASD against Calamid. Going on the straight. The McLaren of Team ASD is a little bit faster.
But on the main straight are Pavlovic and Ronnie Bronson. Pavlovic having a nice run, both in the McLaren, and Bronson not even defending. Are they on a different strategy? I'm very hard to say. I think both of them pitted, so one wonders why Bronson was not defending, but then a very nice clear overtake from Pavlovic on him. And still Simar and Trias on the straight, but Simar, well, as I mentioned, very experienced, doesn't even defend, doesn't want to compromise his exit for turn 1. And we have Scuba on the straight in the slipstream of Calamid.
Getting up closer. And
on the inside, very late braking indeed.
And they touch.
And Calamid then tried to turn in, but well, it's very hard to turn in if there's a car there. And as someone mentioned, indeed, I have not seen a BMW Z4 either.
I just wanted to say that.
And Precap then having a look on Petrol. Precap far behind Petrol does have a look, and they touch
and they spin.
And both go around. And Max Wandel taking advantage, and it is the Petrol who is the big loser from that battle. Unfortunately for him.
Oh, Petrol went off the track too. Or was it Petrol?
There was in fact Petrol indeed, and lost quite about 5 places or so, unfortunately. And Max Wandel then being a bit of the lucky one.
Yeah.
But Precap still out in 14th place.
The battle for 22nd spot is still busy. Now we have Team ASD in front of the terrain. Yeah, then
a couple of drivers going wide.
Oh, Philip Smart beside
yes.
Price. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Philip Smart. Well, he keeps trying to not compromise.
We have Dennis and Team ASD.
We're having a look. But as I said, Simar meanwhile not trying to compromise his exit, and say the same does Team ASD. And then immediately under pressure is Dennis Marquardt from Scuba behind him.
But Scuba has on pressure of getting it. Oh, it's... Oh, Scuba going for the inside. Side by side. Scuba overtook.
And Scuba then able to brake later, and Calamite around the outside. And I don't think Marquardt even noticed him, but he took his line, and Calamite had to stay behind him. Calamite is trying to impress Marquardt, but Marquardt is not easy to fall for that. Of course, there's no real danger in for overtaking in the fast turn, so that was not a very clever move from Calamite, I would say, as he now loses a bit of speed on the back straight.
We have for 13th spot, we have Paul Pruicup and Max Wandel going for a battle.
And so many things going on at the same time, but we're still having a look with Marquardt, Scuba and Calamite.
And also Petrol and Pierre Schlager. Oh, they didn't barely hit each other. Yeah,
Marquardt going
for the
wide.
exit.
And Pierre Schlager trying to put a run on Petrol on the straight. Petrol not defending yet. Pierre Schlager perhaps has a little bit more speed. It's McLaren versus Ferrari.
Goes to the inside. Pierre chooses the outside. Can he do it again?
That's a very nice move.
Yes, he can.
From Pierre Schlager on Petrol. Petrol who earlier lost out.
Oh, and in the front we have Scuba. In the back we have Dennis and Scuba going side by side.
Side by side through turn 3, and then for turn 4 can Dennis Marquardt make a little switch back and go have a run on the inside. No, and Scuba turns in early.
Going on the inside. No. Oh.
Marquardt struggling to get on the power. Calamite on the outside for turn 5. Yes, that is turn 5. And Marquardt, it was a very clever move. I don't know if you noticed that, but he was a bit late to brake, but was trying to be very slow on the apex, which caused Calamite to having to slow down, of course, as you cannot go through the other car. And let's see if Calamite learned from his mistake. Looks like he did. And now has a better run on Marquardt for the back straight. Flashing his lights. But I don't think he'll have enough speed. Well, he does go for it. That was very nice Danny Rick move. Can Marquardt switch back and they touch. But it is Calamite on the inside for Marquardt. Marquardt correcting his car.
Oh, Tommy Mannon went off the track for a bit because he is now on the 8th spot. Mark Martin's also made a mistake because he was 12th and now he's 18th, so what has he done?
And Blame having a look on Ronnie Bronson in front of Meninen. Meninen having not a very clean race at the moment. Watch on board with Blame. Blame choosing the inside.
For the outside. Can he get a better exit? It goes a bit wide, so Tommy Manningen can go beside him. Tommy Manningen brakes a bit.
Meninen so far a very opportunistic driver, as the drivers in front of him are battling, and he tries to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
But cannot do so in this instance.
Mark Martin's also trying to overtake Eki Bjorkston. He failed. Still a battle is going on between Max Wandel and Paul Pruicup.
Pruicup going defensive, or sorry, I was looking at the wrong people there. It was Blame going defensive. Sorry, Bronson going defensive on Blame. There we go. And then Meninen, who has a good run on him.
Oh, Danny's went off the track.
Sorry, in which place is he?
He is now 26.
Oh, there you go, Dennis then, on 26th. It's unfortunate for him. We still have some fighting in front of him between the three Audi cars.
Still tough battle going on between Ronnie Bronson and Blame. Blame is going to go around the outside in that corner.
Side by side, and then it is Ronnie Bronson who loses out on Tommyman, and again
I think he made a mistake.
Meninen then being the opportunistic one and taking advantage of that, now in 7th place.
For battling for 4th place, we have Pavlovic and Rens de Kock.
And of course the pit window is now closed for 5 minutes already, so no more pit stops. So any battling or any positions gained need to be a battle on track.
Mark Martens, Pierre Schlager and Becky Bjorkston are battling for 17th spot.
And I don't think the tire app is broken. Many of the drivers are indeed on hard tires, as it's very hot today on 34 degrees Celsius on this track, Barcelona-Catalunya.
You see that Pierre Schlager is really good in catching up. His lap is 4/10 quicker than the Ferrari in front of him. So
Martin's
Pierre
going on
Schlager
defensive.
Yeah, going defensive.
So Schlager of course managed to get some people around the outside in turn 1, but Martens has enough speed to prevent that for the moment.
So that's the battle between who's the fastest Ferrari, I guess. Or is there someone else faster than a Ferrari? Oh,
at the moment we have
Samuel spun.
And Samuel, you have to tell me which place he is, because there's quite a whole list.
14th place spot. He was battling with Fritz, Paul and Mac.
So that means that Fritz now has gained a place, was earlier in 11th place. And Fritz now in 11th, sorry, was in 12th place, now in 11th place. And Rens de Kock, as pointed out, in 4th place. Sneaky from him, haven't really noticed
Paul
it.
Paul beside Fritz. Paul overtook
And Fritz loses out, and then Max Wandel on the outside in the last sector, but Fritz so far manages to stay in front.
Battle between the Ferraris. Pierre
Again.
right behind the tail of Mark Martens. Now it's all about getting a good exit on the, to the straight.
But hitting the inside curb doesn't help, and we have Meninen as well with Blame. And we have Van der Zalm then in 12th place.
Martens and Pierre battling on the straight.
There we go, Martens again going defensive. Very early on, flashing his lights is Pierre, and then Pierre, can he have move around the outside this time? Not at the moment. Martens making life very difficult for Schlager there. Very nice battle shaping up between the Ferraris, and also in front we have Pavlovic and Rens de Kock. Pavlovic with the better exit on the fast turn 9. And Rens de Kock having to go defensive in this yellow car.
Is trying to go around the outside. Crossing back for 9, doesn't cross back. Oh, Pierre Schlager and Mark Martens. Pierre on the inside of Mark Martens.
Well, the drivers still fighting for those last couple of places to be gained in these last 5 minutes of the race. But Pierre Schlager is so far not able to pass his fellow Ferrari driver. And we have the two McLarens of Team ASD and Petrol close behind each other, and behind them is Scuba. And the Ferrari is of course in front of them.
Back we have a battle between two teammates, Petrol and Team ASD. Mannerman is catching up around a 10th of a lap, so I'm curious about what is going to happen between the two guys. Because you can come close, but you need to overtake it too.
Both drivers though very consistent, and you often see that the drivers near the front of the fields are much more consistent, so there's less battling, but these drivers have been close for a couple of laps now, and so far Manningham has not been able to pass Blame, though Blame does seem to be lagging a little bit. For a moment I thought he was having a bad exit, but Manningham then having to avoid them, Blame for a moment. And Pavlovic and Rens de Kok still fighting right in front of them, and then Rens de Kok not going to the defensive at the moment, but Pavlovic braking very late, and I don't think he'll manage to keep it on the track, and he doesn't, and then it's Rens de Kok who says thank you very much and keeps his 4th place.
But now we have two battles. We have a battle between Fritz van der Zalm and Max Wendel, and we have a battle between Eki Bjorksen, Mark Martens and Pierre Schlager. Very close. Eki Bjorksen is trying to get away, but Pierre Schlager and Mark Martens are pushing to the limit to get on the back of the Nissan GTR.
And Pierre Schlager flashing his lights, going on the inside of Mark Martens. Is this the moment he can do it? Looks like it. Pushes Martens wide. But Martens not giving up yet, although eventually he has to.
We have Petro and Scuba now side by side. Now not anymore, but let's go. Oh,
hits the inside curb again. And again I'm switching to the front with Rens de Kok and Pavlovic, as this is a nice fight for 4th place. Pavlovic not giving up just yet from Rens de Kok, and seems to be faster overall at the moment. And of course we'll try to keep an eye on Van der Zalm and Wandel as well. But let's focus on the battle for 4th place, as there are only 3 minutes left to go. I would reckon that is about 2 or 3 laps. And again being forced on the outside is Pavlovic.
Yeah, Schlager right on the back of Eki Bjorksen.
All over his back indeed, having a look, having to correct, and will have lost some speed, and now it is Martens who is flashing his lights, and maybe he can make a brake late.
And he does,
move,
but he almost
has to avoid
and he
him.
goes wide. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
And then almost loses a place with Team ASD, but manages to hold on. And we have Max Wandel and Fritz van der Zalm still fighting in the chicane they are.
But Samuel also looking from far away.
And Schlager then still on the back of Bjorksten. I'm a bit surprised. It is Bjorksten who is on the double medium stints as well as Pierre Schlager, but usually it is the Nissan who is better on its tires, and we have trying to find the right drivers. I'm seeing Scuba and Petrol. Scuba making a move on Petrol. But so forcing him to the outside. Petrol braking very late, and then Scuba can switch back and has more speed on the exit of turn 2 and goes past. And it is Rens de Kok who has now lost out on Pavlovic. Rens de Kok now in 4th place, but immediately under pressure from Blame.
Fritz van der Zalm and Max Wandel still battling. And it's the last lap for the race of today. Still leading Thomas, and I don't think he gives it away. But anything can happen.
Having a look, and then Fritz, well... Fritz making a bit of a messy move. loses a lot of speed on the straight. Now we have 3 drivers fighting for 12th place at the end of this straight, but Fritz going defensive, Max Wandel turning in.
Sharing some paint.
It's hard to see if anything's going on between them, but not at the moment. And
Rens de Kok going back.
Trying to overtake Pavlovic again on the outside and blame, seeing if he can make most of that. And they touch indeed as Rens almost loses control, and blame is the one who takes advantage of that. And then Tommy Manninen, who we've seen taking advantage of a lot of things, is right behind him.
Now entering the final chicanes, we have Thomas. And
on the last lap. There's our race leader, Thomas Stratela. The second round of the ACRL GT3 2018 season. It is Thomas Stratela who goes to the pit wall and is happy with his first place and victory. And Rami Matila then in second place, almost 19 seconds behind, also in the Nissan. It is Chacot who, with his 30 kilograms of ballast, is able to go for third place. Very nice drive from him. And Pavlovic and Blame then still very close, but it is Manninen who is having a look at Rens de Kok and what can they do.
So, heading into the last corner, we have on the 4th spot, we have Pavlovic. On the 5th spot, we have Blame.
And there you go, Pavlovic in 4th, Blame in 5th place. Rens de Kok stays ahead of Tommy Manninen. Rens finishes 6th, and Ronnie Bronson then in 8th place. We have Trias heading on to the straight out of the last turn. It is Simar who has been quite consistent and is able to take a 10th position with his 40 kilograms of fuel in this very hard to drive, apparently, Audi. Paul Prekop in 11th place. We have behind him Frits van der Zalm in 12th place after all. Samuel then in 13th place, weaving on the straight.
Team ASD and Mark Martens, 45.
Flashing their lights. And Mark Martens is the one who finishes ahead right in front of Team ASD. And I think most of the drivers have finished by now, by the looks of it. So there we go.
That was a really intense race.
For sure it was.
And you know what you said on the beginning? It's hard to overtake. I saw plenty of overtakes and they looked really good.
And then let's have a look at the race results. And here they are with Thomas Statela in first place and gets 100 points for the overall championship. Rami Matila in second place, and then Chacot doing very, very well for his championship, now in third place. As he, I think, already was in third place, so that's very consistent from him. And down the order it goes. Albert Sultan then is a driver who is driving with 20, sorry, that is 10 kilograms. So why was he so far up in the classification? I'm not sure. Maybe there's a bit of an error, but there we go. And it looks like we'll be able to do an interview with our race winner, which is Thomas Tatela. Let's see if we can find him. And there we go. Hello, Thomas. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations on your race win. How did it go?
Well, I think you saw not much challenge. I was like, I think half a second faster than Rami. So,
yeah, it looks very consistent indeed. And I think it looked like you stopped halfway through the race and you had a medium strategy. Is that right?
Yeah, I could have gone with a no-stop strategy, but I think it would be like 8 to 9 seconds slower. So I decided to do the pit stop, and yeah, it worked.
And how were the tires? Because you were on medium tires. Nissan, of course, being known for one of the best on its tires, but the temps were pretty hot. So how were your tires?
They were pretty much perfect. A little cold on the right front, but good enough.
Good enough for you. And also, of course, you had pole position. You had a very respectable pace after that. You managed to stay in front of, was that Rami Matila, I think, who was in second place at the start?
Yep.
Well, there you go. Justin, have you got any questions for our race winner, Thomas Tatela? Is that how I pronounce the name?
I have no questions, but can you teach me how to be so fast? Jesus, you were flying all over the track. Well done.
Thank you.
So that is Thomas Tatela, our race winner.
Yeah, the race was really nice, I must say.
Quite a proper race. Of course, we had a couple of problems with the app. Hopefully we can fix that for next time. It is a very difficult thing to do, as it's very complicated, but well, for the most part it served us well.
Oh, you showed the qualifying results instead of the racing
that was it. So my mistake. Here you go with the race classification. So there you go. With 100 points, then Thomas Tatela. Yeah, it does seem to be the qualifying results, so I don't know why it's showing up wrong. Might have something to do with the crash. So, again, I'm sorry about that. For now, I want to mention that the next race will be in 2 weeks' time. And I can also tell you that it's at Laguna Seca, the 22nd of April, that is. Thank you all very much for watching. I want to thank Justin as well for joining me.
Yeah, it was an honor to stream at you. I really liked it, and maybe we will stream more.
That's great to hear. Maybe we can see if we can do another little interview. Are there any fast drivers? Well, we still have a few minutes.
The fastest Ferrari driver, Pierre Schlager, wants to interview, so...
Sure.
Maybe we can
Let's see if we can find him.
Well.
Then we have to get Pierre in our broadcast booth, as it were.
Can I... Oh. Hello, Pierre.
Hey.
Ah, there he is.
You are the fastest Ferrari. How does it feel?
Well, first of all, exhausting. I mean, I had a quite good quali with 15. But then Star was okay as well. Got a few places. But then, yes, I don't really remember which car it was. I have to watch the replay. I think a white Lamborghini then spun me. So I was dead last again. And yeah, I think I finished in 19th.
Yeah, you had some really good overtakes around the outside in turn 1.
Yeah, I had many overtakes.
Yeah, it looks really nice. So, yeah, how did the car feel? Because you were the fastest Ferrari in 19th place.
Well, to be said first, I think the Ferraris were like grip-wise one of the best cars, including the McLaren. So it was kind of easy to like, yeah, overtake people around the outside or just like in the corners because you had much more grip. The car felt pretty good. It had some like sudden grip losses as I had some damage because of the turn 1 accident. But as I went into the pits and put on new tires and repaired the whole car, and yeah, the last half hour was like proper racing because I got a lot of people I got to overtake, and the car felt really great today.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, see you in 2 weeks, and enjoy your 19th spot.
Thank you. Thanks for the stream.
Congratulations. So that was Pierre Schlager, our fastest Ferrari driver. I think for now that's it. As I said, in 2 weeks there'll be another race, and again I want to also want to thank Adder for the app. It's always difficult to predict what happens in a long race like this, but we'll be sure to go and fix all the little, little big problems that we keep having. But most of the things worked a little better, I must say. So I'm happy about that. Is there anything we need to add? Well, I can't think of any. Can you?
No, I can't. It was an honor, as I said, and yeah, we will see if I come back.
All right. So thanks again. Thank you for watching, and thank you for the drivers, of course. I'll leave you with this trailer, and for now, good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye.